In the early 19th century, the bustling city of Edinburgh was a centre for medical advancement and anatomical study. However, a dark and gruesome chapter unfolded in the city between 1827 and 1828, involving two men whose names would become synonymous with murder and grave robbing: William Burke and William Hare. The demand for fresh cadavers for dissection in medical schools was high, but the supply was woefully insufficient due to legal restrictions on the use of bodies. This shortage led to a macabre solution: body snatching and resurrectionists, who would dig up recently buried corpses to sell them to anatomy schools. Burke and Hare took his gruesome trade to an entirely new and horrifying level. Initially, Burke and Hare dabbled in body snatching. However, they quickly realized that it was easier and more profitable to create their own supply. Instead of waiting for people to die, they decided to hasten the process. The duo began a killing spree, targeting the vulnerable, the poor, the elderly, and those unlikely to be missed. They lured their victims to Hare's lodging house with the promises of food, drink, or work. Once inside, the unsuspecting victims were plied with alcohol and then suffocated, a method that left no obvious marks of violence and thus preserved the bodies in good condition for dissection. The bodies were sold to Dr. Robert Knox, a prominent anatomist at the time, who never questioned the origins of the corpses delivered to him. Over the course of 10 months, Burke and Hare are believed to have murdered 16 people. Their heinous activities eventually came to light when a lodger discovered their body of one of their victims, Margaret Docherty, hidden under a bed. The police were called, and the subsequent investigation uncovered the full extent of their grisly enterprise. Hare turned king's evidence, testifying against Burke in exchange for immunity. Burke was found guilty of murder, and his execution was a public spectacle, attended by a massive crowd. In a twist of fate, Burke's body was then dissected publicly, and his skeleton was preserved and displayed as a grim reminder of his crimes. His skin was reportedly used to bind books and create souvenirs, adding an eerie postscript to his tale of horror. The story of Burke and Hare remains one of the most infamous chapters in the history of Edinburgh, highlighting the macabre lengths to which people would go for profit in the name of science. Their gruesome legacy is still remembered today, chilling the bones of all who hear it. If you're a fan of dark and scary stories, then you come to the right place. Consider subscribing, or there's a high chance that you have a small peepee.